Good evening. This is Dr. Davis. I will be teaching PE 220, Human Physiology for Allied Health Professionals. Before we get into the actual class, what I found helpful is if I create a video that kind of goes through the syllabus. We'll talk a little bit about it on the first day of class, but at least wanted to give you a head start and help you understand what's going on. It is currently Wednesday night before class starts. I just got back from a 22-hour, 1,500-mile drive from my parents' house in Utah, so I'm a little tired, and that's why I've been a little slow in getting back to students with emails. There's only been a couple of you, but I wanted to get this taken care of so that you could have an idea of what's going on. The syllabus has been posted. There are a few things that will change. So if when you look at the syllabus, there's anything in yellow, that means it's kind of the old version, and we're hoping by Monday to have the most up-to-date and final version for the semester. So we're just going to kind of go through some basic policies, and then that'll be what this is about. So to start off, cell phones and laptops. I don't let anybody use cell phones in class. You can't take pictures, you can't record, must always be on silent. You can use your laptops and tablets for exams. If you take notes on a tablet, please just get permission from me beforehand. But if I ever see you doing stuff like Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat or whatever else it is you guys are doing, or use those apps on your device, I'll ask you to put it away. If it's something that happens on the regular, I might ask you to leave class, and that can result in 0 for your participation score for the day. And depending on if this is something that happens repeatedly, you could ultimately be reported to the Office of Student Conduct and lose all of your participation points for the entire semester. That hasn't happened, but it's come close a couple of times. All right. If you want to get a hold of me, the best way is to email me. And one of our goals as academics, I guess, is to help you guys be prepared for your future careers, and one of those things is learning how to work professionally. And so when you email me, please do in a professional manner. So include like an introduction or a greeting, tell me what you need, want, that sort of thing, and then sign off with your name. If you don't do that, I reserve the right to just essentially ignore the email. My goal is that whenever you do contact me, that I'll get back to you by 12 o'clock the following day. However, if that's the weekend, then it will be Monday by noon. And depending on what's going on, like it says here, I might request a meeting. Also, if you ask me a question about the syllabus that can be answered by looking at the syllabus, I will just refer you back to the syllabus. It can be frustrating, I know, to students, but at the same time, I'm a big fan of a personal accountability, and so that's why I do it. Just to give you an example of what not to do, this starts off well. It says, "Good morning, Dr. Davis," and then I have no idea what this person is asking. This is an actual email from about 3 or 4 years ago. So make sure that you take a minute to proof it. I generally try and do that because sometimes my fingers go faster than my brain. So anyway, don't do this, please. Twitter, I use it a lot, or I have in the past. Some semesters are better than others. Tips, announcements, extra credit, stupid things, just entertaining things, I'll post on it. But do not use Twitter to get a hold of me. Use my university email address. I run a Twitter account, and the SIs run a Twitter account as well. So basic overview of grading. There's 5 things that you'll be graded on: exams, lab, external brains, quizzes, participation. So here's exams have 2 parts. I do drop your lowest score. Lab has 3 parts each week. I drop the lowest score of those. When it comes to due dates, I never accept late work. External brain, you have 2 of these that are due a week. If by chance you're retaking this class, these 2 basically make up what we used to do in 1 week. So they're a little bit shorter, but now you have something to do before class every day. And as a result, I drop the lowest 2 scores. With quizzes, you have a quiz before each day of class, and then one at the end of the week. Participation, you only need to get 80% of your participation points to get full credit. This includes clickers, writing assignments, in-class activities, SI session attendance, and potentially other things. There will be a weekly writing assignment, just so you know. And like I said, I never accept late work. This is a quote from an actual student that was trying to get extra credit so they could get a better grade so they would help their chance of getting into PT school. Thought it was a bold strategy. So they said, just know you'll learn a lot and have fun with class, but Dr. Davis is a real male reproductive organ about due dates. Okay, so student wanting extra credit called me a dick. Seems crazy, but there you go. So I really don't accept late assignments ever, so don't ask. Everything's available at least 1 week before the due date. Procrastinate at your own risk. Okay, so every once in a while, like something crazy will happen where the internet goes out at 9:30 p.m. On campus. Assignments are due at 10. I generally don't have a lot of leniency or a lot of towards those just because you've had so long. Okay, so just kind of depends. When it comes to grading, I don't round. So just like it says here, this all started when I had a student at the University of Oregon that came up to me and said, hey, I've got an 86.45. Can you round that to an 86.5? And I'm like, sure. And they said, okay, cool. You just rounded that to 86.5. Can you round that 86.5 to an 87 so I can get a B+? So the answer was no. So that's just what it is. I have to have a cutoff somewhere. So I'm very upfront about it. So there you go. Extra credit, don't ask for it, please. You get credit for all your participation points. So if you did all participation points that were out there, you'd get an extra 1.25%, I believe is what it turns out to on your final grade. There's also some extra credit questions extra credit question on each exam. So how will this be run? I use what's called a flipped classroom. So before you come to class, it's expected that you complete readings, watch videos, complete your EB, complete a quiz. Okay, when we come to class, we're going to review the material. We're going to break class up usually into 3 sections because there's usually 3 videos, and we'll do an activity related to each of those sections. Answer questions. Sometimes there will be Kahoots, clicker questions, in-person interactive things. Get used to talking to your neighbor and working with others. Okay, so when you come to class, we're really reinforcing material. So when it comes to this class, I do my part. It's up to you to do yours. So just so you know, these are the things that I commit to doing. I hold open office hours. Generally, they're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I respond to emails in a timely manner. I usually offer 1 or 2 exam review sessions before every exam. I offer exam retakes, which we'll talk about later. I drop low scores on EBs, quizzes, exams. You get multiple attempts on your quizzes. I only require you to participate 80% of the time. And I have objectives that are where my exam questions come from. So let's talk a little bit about exams, quizzes, and so forth. I don't offer exams during class time, so that way I have more time to go over the same amount of material. This is the schedule that I'm planning, so there'll be an hour on Monday and 3 different hours on Tuesday. Before you take the exam, you're going to sign up for a time. I don't think it'll be an issue just because class sizes are a little smaller in the fall, that especially if you want to take it in the evening, either Tuesday at 4 or Tuesday at 5, there will be plenty of spots. Okay, if for some reason you're not able to take it during these 4 times, please talk to me. Don't just not show up. I've had students do that before, which I don't understand. So the exam has an in-class portion that's worth 80%. You get about 12 minutes to use your external brain, so your notes and anything else that you've created. You have to do this on the lockdown browser. And then you have the out-of-class portion, which is the exact same exam for everybody. And most of the questions are the same, if not all of them being the same as the in-class portion. You'll have about 72 hours to do this. And on both of them, there's always an extra credit question that has to do with some random fact about me. Okay, so I've already told you a few things about me. The extra credit question from exam 1 has already been told to you in this video. The final exam, so on the it's like December 7th, I don't know the date off the top of my head, you're actually going to take 2 exams. Exam 5, which is over the last 3 weeks of class, and the comprehensive exam, which is over everything. Okay, for the comprehensive exam, you will have seen a lot of these questions, and I'll tell you probably about 10 of the questions before you actually take the exam. So there you go. And just so you know, everything is fair game. Both of them will have an out of class portion. You have to do it for exam 5. You don't for the comprehensive. When it comes to calculating your exam score, so the part that's worth 50% of your grade, I basically plug your stuff into Blackboard and it automatically calculates your exam score based on each of these paradigms. And so let's just say these are your exam scores, and it will choose the highest one. Okay. Blackboard is constantly dropping your lowest score, so you don't need to tell me at the end of the semester, and please do not tell me at the end of the semester that you need me to drop your lowest exam score or external brain or quiz or whatever. It's already doing it. External brain assignments, these are due every day before class at 10 o'clock. There's about 4 or 5 questions that are going to highlight the important things that we're going to talk about. Upload your assignments. So you can do this a variety of ways. You can scan in the library and upload. You can do this all in Word and upload. You can take a picture and upload. Please do not use Word to draw when I ask you to draw. You will lose points just because it's impossible to draw with Word. Okay, like if you draw a picture and take a picture of it and then insert the document or insert that picture into Word, that's fine. Okay, if you've got like an Apple Pencil or one of these other tablets and you draw, that's fine too. But trying to draw with an old school mouse in Word doesn't work, so don't do it. Okay, you bring these to class and you update them because odds are you're going to have stuff that's incomplete, incorrect, or just downright wrong. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you want to update those so you can have the correct information and have a better understanding. When we grade these, they're not graded on content, they're graded on, can you follow directions? Did you make an honest attempt to answer the question? Did you cite? And is it neat? Everything has to be in your own words. If you cut and paste or copy and paste a picture from Google, unless it says don't do it, but if you do it, make sure you explain what's going on in this picture. Don't just paste a picture from Google or anywhere else on the internet. Okay? For the exams, you're going to need to have all these assignments and your notes and anything that's your own creation in a 3-ring binder and bring to class, and then you can use that for the last portion of the in-class exam. When it comes to citations, don't trust Word. It does it wonky sometimes. Use something like EndNote or Mendeley. EndNote is a free software that you can get for being a student at ISU, and the library or librarians were more than willing to help you out with that. Okay, when it comes to citations, they need to go at the end. If you do not have like a reference list at the end, you just lose all of your points. Even if you cited for every question, this is just to make our grading easier. Okay, so the purposes of this external brain is to help you start learning before you come to class. You're basically building the foundation, setting up the scaffolding. Okay, and if you have a good foundation, it's going to make it a lot easier to understand when we come to class. Like I said, bring your external brains to class and update them. I reserve the right to take points off your external brains if you don't bring them to class. Okay? Quizzes. 2 types of quizzes, those that are due before class and those that are due at the end of the week. The ones that are due before class are due at 10 o'clock. You can take these 6 million times. Every time you take them, it will be different questions. Okay? I believe there are 5 questions on each of these, but you get 10 minutes. And like I said, if you take it more than once, that's fine, but questions will be different. And as long as you score 80% or higher on any one attempt, doesn't have to be your last attempt, then that score will ultimately be updated to 100%. If you score less than 80%, so that means 79.99999 or lower, you get a 0. Okay, so it's kind of an all or none thing. Weekly quizzes are similar, except for you only get 10 attempts and you need an 85% or better. And they're due on Fridays at 10 p.m. Please note that the due dates for everything are either 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. as it relates to the quizzes, EBs, and participation. The reason we do these quizzes is it helps you get an idea of what you're understanding and what you're not understanding. It's really low stakes. You can take them a lot of times. So there you go. If you just keep taking it over and over and change one answer, that's not helping you though. So if you miss an answer, try and figure out, well, why did I miss this? What's incorrect? Where's my understanding? Not quite there. Participation, which is due worth 5% of your grade, is determined by clicker questions, in-class activities, surveys, and short writing assignments. In order to get all of your points, you need to earn 80%. Okay, so for example, if there's 150 available, you just need to earn 120. If you only earn 90, then I would calculate your grade 90 out of 120 as opposed to 90 out of 50. When it comes to clickers, everybody needs to have a physical clicker. If you're caught using multiple clickers, you and the person whose clicker you are using, you will get a 0 for your participation score for the entire class. Okay, so that's 5% of your grade that you've just lost. Clicker questions start on the first day. If you don't have your clicker or your license on the first day, it's not that big of a deal, but you want to get that as soon as you possibly can. You are unable to make up missed participation points, and this is in large part due to the fact that I only make you get 80% of them. Okay, so if you think about it, that means you could actually miss 6 classes without harming your participation grade. Don't do that though, please. Everybody will need to purchase a license. Generally costs about $25 a semester. You do need a physical clicker, or you can check one out from me. I have hundreds, and if the only thing is, if you check one out for me, you might need to get a battery, and definitely will need to return it by the last Friday of class. Failure to do so will result in you losing 5% of your grade. Okay, and I'm not allowing clickers questions to be done online this year. This is one of the classes where we have SI sessions, and this year this semester for like the 7th straight semester, I've got 2 SIs that will be in class, and they will be there every day, and they will be unlike any SI you've ever had in that they will wander around and help answer questions and do group work stuff with you. And so we have Jensen, who I believe this is her 4th semester doing this, and then Ashley, this is her 1st semester doing it. Both of them were had the close to the highest grades in their class when they took Phys, so they know their stuff. They will also be holding SI sessions outside of class, so we have an option on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If those times do not work with you, you have 2 options. One, see if they will meet with you outside of class. They are under no obligation to do so, so if they can't or don't want to, don't get mad at them. Okay? They don't have to. All right? If that's the case, and you can't go to one of these sessions, then you get to meet with me. And so you will have to set up a time to meet with me, and you will have to come with specific questions. Okay? You have to set it up beforehand. You can't just show up to office hours and go, hey, I'm here for my SI session. That's not how this works. You need to attend at least 4 sessions during these periods. And what I mean by that is you've noticed that I've got it broken down into 5 exams. You need to attend at least 1 session for each of these exams. Okay, or at least for 4 of those sessions. Okay, so you can't just go 4 times in exam 1 and think you're done. You have to go like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you don't want to go to 5, you don't have to. If you do go to 5, you do get extra credit. Most of these are going to have predetermined activities, such as a Kahoot, but they'll be there to answer questions, and these are worth 5 participation points each. There's going to be a writing assignment available, or that's required every week. These usually show up Thursday after class, and you have until Friday night. Okay. Purpose of these is to help me get an understanding of what the class understands, and also to help you improve your writing skills. Answer everything in your own words. Do not copy and paste anything from Google. Okay. It's really obvious when you do this. This constitutes plagiarism, which means you lose 5% of your grade, and you report it to the Office of Student Conduct. And depending on if you've been reported there before, it could be a big deal. Okay, so don't do that. And as you'll learn in a minute, I am very black and white when it comes to this sort of thing with academic integrity. So we're going to end on this. So not really on a high note, so I apologize. But don't do it. If you cheat, after one thing, I reserve the right to give you a failing grade for the entire class. The entire class, not just the assignment, but the entire class. Okay, so I get passionate about this, meaning that I don't want it to happen. It's very frustrating. Okay, you can ask people that took class from me last semester. There were students that were cheating during an exam, and I was not happy, and I scared the entire class to death, which sucked because there's only 2 people that I knew of that were cheating. Okay, so what constitutes this is turning in the same external brain assignment. You can work on these together, which is fine, but everything needs to be in your own words. You're creating a personalized textbook. Okay, if I create one and you create one, they should be similar but different. Using the internet / phone for either part of for any of the in-class exams, having someone click in for you, clicking in when you're not in class, that sort of thing. Having the exact same answer to a written response question on an exam. Now, there will be times where this happens, and that's not a big deal, but there are certain questions where it's like there's no way you can have the exact same 3 sentences. Okay? Adding quizzes, external brains, exams, or any other assignments to websites like Course Hero, which I check pretty regularly, and if I find stuff on there, I report that to the Office of Student Conduct. You do not have permission to do that. First offense at minimum is a 0 on that exam, or a 0 for the assignment category, so meaning you get 0% for all of your external brain assignments, or all your participation, which 10%, 5%, or just an F in the class. And in all cases, there will be a report to the Office of Student Conduct. The second offense, you fail the class, and you're reported to the Office of Student Conduct. Why do I care? Many of you are nursing students, for potential nursing students, want to go to PT, want to go to OT, AT, things like that. You're a healthcare provider. I'm getting older. I have to go see healthcare providers more often than I'd like. I don't want whoever's helping me out to have cheated their way through school. That just really is frightening if you think about it. So please don't do it. It's old. Okay? Work hard. You'll be fine. And I believe that is where we're going to end. So I do, like I said, I want to kind of end on a high note here. I'm going to introduce myself on Tuesday, tell you a little bit more about myself, where I came from, my philosophy when it comes to teaching, and then we're going to do some activities just to kind of make sure everybody understands the syllabus and understands kind of the basics of physiology, and we'll go from there. This class is an absolute blast. It'll be quite the ride. You can be very successful in this. I believe in all of you. I believe that everyone can get an A. You've just got to take advantage of the tools that are provided to you. We'll talk about that more on Tuesday. So until then, have a lovely day, night, evening, weekend, whatever it is.